During the summer of 2013, Motor Yacht Venture, a Fleming 65, made the journey from Vancouver Island to Prince William Sound. Once in the Gulf of Alaska, we visited beautiful but treacherous Lituya Bay, before going on to Yakutat, from where we navigated the stunning waters leading to the Hubbard Glacier. We called next at dramatic Kayak Island. This is the site of the first landing in 1748 by the Russian expedition under the command of Bering. By a strange coincidence, 37 years later, Captain Cook also chanced to choose Kayak Island as his first landing on what is now called Alaska. From here we made a direct crossing of the Gulf to Hinchinbrook entrance into Prince William Sound. We followed a fishing boat into Cordova harbour, overlooked by a memorial to mariners lost at sea. Many slips were vacant, as most boats were taking advantage of one of the carefully controlled fish openings. The season was in full swing for the famous Copper River salmon, whose deep red and tasty flesh was attributed to the harder fight for the fish to swim up the powerful river. Cordova has many canneries, which together process over 30 million pounds of fish each year. The town is also famous for the vast numbers of migrating birds that use the Copper River Delta as a stopover each spring. We could not resist taking a closer look at Bligh Reef, upon which the Exxon Valdez had come to grief in 1979, even to the extent of following her exact course. The red lines show our track over the reef. With our 5-foot draft, compared to 65 feet for the doomed tanker, we were in no danger of suffering the same fate. The departing ship had been diverted into the inbound shipping channel due to ice flowing from the Columbia Glacier. This is what the reef looks like on a depth sounder. The glacier has retreated a further 12 miles and lost half its thickness since 1980. We anchored for the night in Heather Bay, where huge blocks of ice were aground on the rocky shore. In a cold rain we launched both tenders and toured the floes, even to the point of touching them. With the benefit of hindsight, this was extremely foolhardy, as we learnt when, without warning, one of the floes blew apart with a detonation like a field gun and disintegrated right alongside us. A group of hardy kayakers prepared to take to the frigid waters. The radar shows the extent of the ice in Columbia Bay as the glacier continues its rapid retreat. Keep in mind that only 1/8 of the total mass of the ice is visible, and the 7/8 beneath the water melts faster than the top, causing the floes to become very unstable. Seals and otters use the floes as convenient haulouts. From here we pass through Valdez Narrows to the town of Valdez. The AIS showed many fishing boats at anchor, awaiting the announcement for the next opening. The harbour was jam-packed and we had to wait to be allocated a berth. This fishing boat was registered in Astoria, Oregon, and we had been tied up next to her in Cordova. All local harbours provide a filleting service, with the remainder of the fish being discarded to the delight of the resident gulls. Venture looked quite out of place among the fleet of commercial boats. As soon as we left the harbour, we were immersed in thick fog. We headed up Unaqua Inlet to Mears Glacier, our first tidewater glacier within the Sound. We could not resist sampling glacial ice. It was hard to grasp the immensity of our surroundings. A tour boat and the passengers on her deck demonstrated our insignificance. From here we proceeded to Cascade Bay to view what is billed as the largest waterfall by volume in the Sound. The original termination point of receding glaciers is marked by a moraine of debris where water depths are drastically reduced, as shown on this chart and the depth sounder. We entered Barry Arm, where 3 tidewater glaciers would once have come together and filled the bay with ice. The most easterly of the 3 is Cox, which flows in waves down to the water. The centre glacier is Barry, where a tour boat has brought kayakers to paddle amongst the ice floes. The third glacier has receded from the water, revealing rocks which clearly demonstrate that they too were once beneath the ice. This glacier is named Cascade, after the nearby spectacular waterfall. Just around the corner in Harriman Fjord, Surprise Inlet has yet another multi-stream waterfall. This was a favourite spot for large groups of otters resting on the floes. Many more adventures lie ahead for Venture and her crew on this western side of Prince William Sound.